This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Place to Be Nation Pop Experience. Welcome back to Cartoons of Our Youth. It's been a bit. Sorry about that. Things kind of happen. Life gets in the way. But we're back here. I'm here with a great guest, a guest very familiar to those of you listening to this podcast feed. Very familiar to being on shows with me. Used to have a regular standing podcast, especially back during the COVID pandemic days. Pop Goes to the Couch, where we reviewed a lot of shows, whether it was DC, Marvel, or we just would talk about movies, what have you. Lots of fun stuff. And you could hear this guy all over the place, especially on the not brand new, but relatively new Backbone Wrestling Network. My friend, your friend, everybody's friend, Scott Shifflett. Scott, so good to be back talking to you on a podcast.
I know, Andy. Andy. It's like it's like riding a bike. Like we're back into our groove. We're chit chatting before the show. You have to a little backstage thing. He has to pause it and kill the recording twice because we're BSing. He's like, I don't want to speed through this. I'm like, that's fine. I'm sorry. Then he starts recording again, and we start talking about like just catching up life. He's all kinds of stuff. And Andy, you mentioned all those pods that we did, but you did not mention the very first pod that I did that got me onto podcasting, Blockbuster Rewind.
Yeah,
that was the first one we did together. So yeah,
that was a fun show.
It was.
You, me, and Mr. Eric Eels used to do that. It was a lot. That was a lot of work, that one. I think talking about movies is a lot of work, but you got to watch the movies, and then we got to, you have a guest. But I really enjoyed doing that pod, and maybe one day something will come back in that kind of way, shape, or form. Who knows? But no, it is finding people similar to you who love something like movies, and that was kind of the thing. Like I wanted to do a movie. Because I have all the live watch pods I do, and I was like, I want to do one where we just talk about the movies. Let's not review it. We're not going to kind of go through and break. We're going to just talk about it and talk about a whole franchise. And somebody goes to the movies as much as I do, and that's kind of what made that happen, was that just seeing somebody that loved movies as much as I did, and I just wanted to talk to them about stuff. So yeah, I'm glad I could be your gateway.
Yeah, you were definitely a gateway drug, Andy, because now, we were discussing, I went from, like you said, we were just doing the podcast together, and, I was basically just doing, the pop feed here, and, I was doing podcasts with Sean as well, and then we started doing like YouTube roulette on the wrestling feed, and then it turned into, I'm actually hosting my own podcast now, which I'm sure we'll get to later, but it's just crazy, like this really is like a gateway drug. You're like, hey, you want some heroin? And then next thing you know, I got my own headset, I got a blue microphone, and I bought a laptop primarily to record. It's just insane. But, I'm glad to be here, Andy. Cartoons of Our Youth, which, as we'll get into, when you asked me how old I was when this came out, and I said I was 4, about to turn 5, you said you were of legal drinking age. So, we're really hitting the cartoons of my youth. Definitely not your youth, buddy, but my youth.
Well, it's cartoons of our youth. It's everybody's youth. Look, we've done stuff that people started watching when they were adults. We had Futurama. We've done The Simpsons. Those the guests I had for those were not kids when they first started watching it. And you're a kid at heart. Everybody has that kid inside them. Everybody loves cartoons, and it's really just about visiting a genre, a medium that I love so much. Another, pull back the curtain a little bit. Tim Capel cracks up that the fact that I am a man in my early 50s, but every Saturday and Sunday, what do I watch in the morning when I eat breakfast? When I want to relax, I watch 3 episodes of a cartoon. And right now I'm watching Batman the Animated Series because Tim, introduced me to that when he was on for his second appearance. Before that was Gargoyles, which Tim is the true gateway. I got to tell you, because Tim will get you hooked on stuff. It's no joke.
Yes, he is. He's the reason why I spent like $110 a couple Christmases ago, because Marvel was having a sale on Comixology for X-Men that I have just like I have like $1,000 worth of X-Men comics digitally, but I got them on sale for like a total of $110 because I was messaging him, was like, should I buy a list? And he was just like, yes. And then he was like, you need to get this, this, and this too. And I was like, okay. And then, I have all these comics that I'm going to read one day, Andy. You just know there's not enough time in the day.
No, there's not. And really, the spirit of this podcast is just having somebody on here talking about something that they enjoyed at some point in their life, and it meant something to them, and it's a fond memory of them, and that's kind of the spirit here. So, Scott, now this definitely is a cartoon of your youth. It's a cartoon that I've seen bits and pieces of. It's in a kind of a area where I was not really watching cartoons, at least cartoons like this, of this kind, at the moment. And it was way before, I was married and had children. I think I hadn't even, actually these episodes, I think I hadn't even met my future ex-wife at the point. So I was just some 21-year-old kid bartending, having fun, doing the college thing. And there's little Scotty Shifflett, getting his bowl of, Lucky Charms or wherever he was eating and popping himself in front of this, watching these cartoons. So it'll be fun to talk about.
That's pretty close to what happened. Just replace Lucky Charms with Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, there you go. Oh, Fruity Pebbles are great. Have you tried the Kelsey mix?
No, I have not.
I tried it, and of course it's not I fell off my diet quite some time ago, but it is it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Reese's cereal, and Lucky Charms all mixed together.
I would take out the Lucky Charms and just have the Reese Puffs and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch personally. But I think when you messaged me about that, you said you felt you enjoy that if you were high.
Yeah. Oh God, if this was around when I was in college, forget it. I would have got through boxes upon boxes of this stuff because, yeah, that's what it's for. I would have been back in my dorm room after like a night out and like, give me this, boom, 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 done. And I would have been a happy camper watching this cartoon probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably would have lined up at the same time. So this cartoon, and people could see it in the description. But Scott, what cartoon did you pick for us to talk about? And then we're going to live watch 2 episodes together.
Yes. So I chose Rugrats. And I chose I just picked 2 random episodes because to be honest, Andy, I really have, like as I told you, I haven't seen these since I was like a little kid. And I wanted to be honest with you because I could have been like, let's watch South Park. I can watch like 20 million episodes of South Park. Yeah. I mean, I did watch that kind of early. Like I was watching that in 99, but like I was 10 or like 10 in 99, 2000, I was 11. So I just want to be like, let's just go back. I was thinking of doing Doug, but I chose not to do Doug. But I used to have like these. It felt like as a kid when I was my age, like when. I'm sure with like Logan and Sousa, it's the same way because they're also around my age, and Lewis. At least with me, it started off. I watched Nickelodeon, and I watched the hell out of Nickelodeon, Andy. Then one day, I stopped watching Nickelodeon and I switched to Disney, and then I watched Disney for a couple of years, like That's So Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, The Jersey, Famous Jet Jackson, all those shows. And then one day, I just stopped watching Disney and I went to like another channel and like never came back to those channels. Like, that meme where it's like, you didn't know the last day you hung out with all your friends riding bikes and like until later. It's like, that's pretty much how it was with me with those TV shows. So like it was Nickelodeon and Disney for me. I hated the Nick Jr. shit, which that's when they had the guy, the Gullah Gullah Island. I hated that as a little kid. I'm also one of those weird kids that in Disney movies, when they would sing, I would fast forward through it, which when I told my wife that, she was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I just hate singing in movies. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So
not a fan of musical. Okay, I get it.
Well, no, she also tricked me with Into the Woods, but we'll get into that later. But no, I just chose Rugrats. This was like my favorite show growing up. I didn't really understand what a TV guide was, so I'd always like flip to Nickelodeon just to wait for Doug and Liz to come on. So I would have to watch through a lot of shit usually. So
yeah, Nicktoons were a big deal for your generation. Like we said, like I'm quite a bit older than Scott, but for me, I grew up on, before we had 1,000 cable channels, and I would come home, and Sean has been on the show a couple of times, and we've talked about the big thing for us boys, at least, was the weekday afternoon cartoons, the G.I. Joes, the Transformers, those that was our bread and butter. There were also a lot of cool stuff on Saturday mornings, but then as cable started to come around more, you started to see more cartoons pop up on these more focused channels. And Nickelodeon, I remember also watching Nickelodeon when it first came out, when you can't do that on television. I remember watching Danger Mouse on that channel. I watched a whole bunch of shows on Nickelodeon. Then the slime thing and everything became big, and then they launched this whole Nicktoons. And I remember I would flip channels once in a while and maybe watch it a little bit because I'm like, oh, this looks like a cute cartoon. I would try to do the voices a little bit when I would watch it. I could tell you I thought Angelica was a fucking bitch.
Yes.
I thought Tommy was cool and Tommy Pickles, and then you had Chucky
Finster,
yeah,
Phil
and then
and
you had
Lil.
those creepy twins.
Yeah, Phil and Lil.
Phil and Lil, yeah. It seemed like a fun cartoon. There were a lot of other Nicktoons also. I mean, Grooney was on here, and we did Recess. That was a Nicktoon,
Oh yes,
right?
no, that was started off as Disney, and then I think went to Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, there's a whole smattering of the Nicktoons out there. I mean, the most famous probably would be SpongeBob, I would think, because I watched a lot of SpongeBob because my kids. SpongeBob was getting popular. My kids were little. So we had it on a lot. We had some good SpongeBob video games, The Battle for Bikini Bottom. I know there was like a Nicktoon Racers game. I think Rugrats may have been featured in there.
I think so, yeah. I know I always wanted like a Reptar t-shirt, and I could never find a good one. Also wanted a Quail Man t-shirt, but that's from Doug. But yeah, could never find those.
And then they did All Grown Up, right? Which were the characters from Rugrats as like, were they adults or were they teenagers? I don't remember exactly.
They were like teenagers in like middle school, I want to say. And yeah, I watched some of that. That was on Snick, but that's like sort of when I had fallen out of love with it. So it was like, okay, can't really do, like, I can't really watch this anymore.
Yeah. Nick Jr. and Noggin, because I was working for MTV actually in the early 2000s. Freelancing between there and A&E. I remember I formatted Bob the Builder. I formatted some other shows for Nick. But yeah, it was kind of, I would see promotional stuff. There was Blue's Clues shit everywhere, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was, it was interesting to, it's one of those things like when you're not the target demographic, and a lot of times I can get into a cartoon, but this one I was just like, I just can't wrap my head around it at this moment in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really either, to be honest. I just had Nickelodeon growing up, not those other channels. What was the one that showed Degrassi? Was that Noggin?
No, Noggin, because Noggin was more for little kids. Noggin, I think, and Nick Jr. were kind of very similar. No, I think it was Teen Nick, right? Wasn't it Teen Nick that showed Degrassi, or Degrassi was shown later? Because it was...
I think maybe showed later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Degrassi, we do have a whole pod dedicated to Degrassi, the Next Generation.
See, that's why I brought it up with James Greenberg.
With Grooney and John Kesselika. So yeah, it's a fun show. You guys got to check it out. Very proud. It's when they grow up so fast, Grooney.
Yes.
They're doing their own podcasts and everything. It's so funny. Anyway, so let's move into live watching these. So being that Rugrats is a Nicktoon and Nick is part of Viacom, these are on Paramount Plus. So Scott and I, what's the first episode we're watching?
This is oh, no, it messed up on me. Sorry, guys. Asking me to set up parental controls. I think that's a joke that you set up, Andy. So this is season 3, and like I said, I love that Paramount Plus just turned heel on me, guys. After I love it,
I have it called. It's season 3, episode 12, Cuffed, and then the Blizzard.
Yes, Cuffed and then the Blizzard, and then the next episode we'll be watching is season 3, episode 13, Destination Moon and Angelica's Birthday.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, and somehow like these have like double. You think these would be 42 minutes? No, they're just 24 minutes. So it's real interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, they're all around 10, 12 minutes a story, basically, a cartoon, and they would jam 2 of these per episode.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So is Paramount Plus, okay with you right now?
Yeah, Paramount Plus is okay with me right now. They did not like me hitting the back button for some reason.
So we're gonna hit that play button in 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the intro here coming. Which is
iconic, Andy, because it's Tommy putting on his like the diaper coming on him. We see all the little kids playing in the background. We see the grandpa, and Chucky, Phil, and Lil. They're just messing around, being little kids. Yeah, this robot. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. Then we see Angelica with the dog, which is cute. And then she gets shows like she's like the antagonist because she gets the dirt all over, and then we see, the Pickles family. The parents come in, they shoot the milk in the face, and that's Rugrats. That's the start. So I hadn't thought about this show for years, Andy, but I was listening to a Three-Way Dance, and JT brought up the song from their movie, which I had forgotten about, called "Take Me There." It's with Blackstreet, Blinky Blink, and Mace and Maya, and it starts off with the show. Like the song starts off with the theme song being played, and it's just amazing. And when I say I listened to it for a full day, Andy, it was like a full day. So I'm a little nervous when my 2024 Apple comes out, because I'm worried it might be like top 10, because that's how much I played it that day. So and it just made me think about it. Then you asked me to do this, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do Rugrats, because we had talked about it before, but then I had some life got in the way, so we were had to punt it. But no, I just remember watching the show, loving it, and I was like, oh, let's bring it back. And the animation doesn't look that bad, personally.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it is definitely SD. It's not HD, but it doesn't. It's fine. There's a charm to it anyway, to this kind of animation. I mean, as long as you grew up doing this. So here's one thing I never knew about Rugrats. Are they? What's the connection between all these kids? Are they all related? Are they cousins? Or
Tommy and Angelica are cousins.
Okay.
And then I think, and then the rest of them are just friends. Okay. So but Angelica is the evil one. She's the little shit to them all the time.
She's also the oldest, right?
Yeah, she's the oldest.
She calls them babies, right? Something like that.
Yeah, she calls them babies. Yeah, they're cousins. And Tommy, I just love that Tommy was the leader of it.
Tommy's voiced by a woman, no less, too.
Yeah, which so is Bart Simpson. So that's what I really enjoy, is the voice actors are being voiced by the cartoons are being voiced by voice actors. Not we get big names to be these voice actors, Andy, but that's a whole nother issue. That's just me personally. What do you think?
No, I like it. I there are so many voice actors I actually follow on social media, because anybody who's done stuff with me knows that I do have a thing to do voices. Not all of them are great, but I have a thing that I started doing it at a very young age. I remember watching I wasn't supposed to watch it, the Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian special, and one of the comedians was Maurice LaMarche. Now, if you don't know Maurice LaMarche, he's not really a household name, but if you know anything about voice acting, he's huge. He's the voice of the Brain. He's the voice of... Oh. Yeah, you'll hear him in so many different iterations. He's Zootopia. He was the Godfather, kind of a mole rat thing, whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he will show up in so much stuff. He is so great. I'm trying to think what else he was on. Yeah, if you look him up, his IMDb is huge. So, yeah, and I think it's something Bailey. The one who does Tommy Pickles she's huge. She does so many voices. If you were to look her up on IMDb, you'll just see this huge long list. So yeah, it's great. I have great admiration for voice actors.
Yeah, me too. Because like I know they're not like they're still acting with their inflection of the voice and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just great.
They make so much. I mean, they make a good living. I mean, Tom Kenny, who was he was a funny guy. He did some good comedy. He was in a couple of movies. He was the bad guy in Shakes the Clown. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
Oh no, never even
Ken
heard of.
Bolthway playing an alcoholic clown.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
Adam Sandler's in it too. Yeah, he plays the bad guy in Shakes the Clown, but he went on to be the voice of SpongeBob.
Okay.
So Bill Fagerback, the voice of Patrick, he was Dauber on Coach. I mean, the people, you wouldn't realize how big a careers they actually have when they find that like that character that they just voiced that just lasts for so long.
Yeah, like I'm looking up Elizabeth Daily, who was Tommy Pickles'
Yes.
voice. She was in.
Too.
She's still doing it. Like she did.
Yeah.
She's done video game stuff. She still does like I guess there's a new Rugrats series, which I remember seeing that. The art looks horrifying. Andy, as good as the art is for this, the art for this is just like nightmare fuel. But and Angelica always used to pick on Chucky.
Yeah, she's picking on him right now. She called him a cheesehead, for crying out loud.
Yeah, so like I think that's a Ginger joke. I can't confirm, but she's always just super mean to him. But she's also mean to all of them, but she always gets her comeuppance. So
okay. That's pretty awesome.
But now they're as the title is called, the episode's titled Shackled, they are now handcuffed to each other, and they can't break it off because they're obviously little kids. She's saying how they're stuck together, and then they have their kid, their dad looking for him, and like she always like plays like the good suck up when like the kid like like what was the one in Leave It to Beaver who was always full of shit but sucking up to the parents?
Oh yeah. Now it's gonna bug me, but yeah. I think it was Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie Haskell. Yeah,
Eddie Haskell. That's it. Yeah.
That's
I remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's a dated reference even for fucking me, but it's the only thing I could think of.
I give you props for bringing up Leave It to Beaver. Not on my bingo card for this pod.
Yeah, well, Andy, I think that used to be on before wrestling, and her mom was like always on the phone. Like I think she had like a Zach Morris type cell phone, so she's always working, doing stuff on the phone. They're trying to get a key now to unbutton themselves, but it's probably those little toy ones where like if they just press the side, it would work. So.
Yeah, she's it's so funny. I just have Back to the Future in my head. Like, better get used to these bars, kid.
Oh yeah. God, I love those movies.
Angelica seems like a Karen in the training here. Oh my gosh, she gets out a friggin' blowtorch.
Yeah, it's just like, and she has a welder's mask. Hey, she's being safe for her, not really for Chucky.
Yeah, she could give a shit about Chucky.
No. And it's not working because it's a fake blowtorch.
My God, I don't remember seeing that in the toy section. The kids blowtorch set.
Thank goodness. Like, for you want to be a welder at home.
Yeah, started me out. Oh, that's smart. She got herself in the thumb there.
I love the animation, so the thumb's hurting because it's like it's thumping and yeah.
Yeah, she's also that typical wolf in sheep's clothing when it comes to the parents. Yeah,
1000%. I love that. Time's running out. And you see it says Power Girl and it says Cynthia on it. I think that's the name of one of the other characters, so that means she stole it from her.
She's trying to use a toy trade. I mean, every method necessary here they're trying.
Oh, sorry. Cynthia was was Angelica's toy doll. So it was obviously something from that. And
not for use on handcuffs. That's the thing.
Hours of fun. It's like, this is our life now. They're going to be stuck together forever. Such a little kid thing.
to the dumb kid with goofy hair.
Yeah, Angelica's already saying like we should get married now. That's just awesome.
Oh, poor Chucky. Chucky is also that typical nasally kid. That's a favorite. He's, oh, guys, and always sniffling, and always seems to have that kid at daycare that always had a cold.
That gets everyone else sick?
Yeah, that the parents are always like begging them, like, come on, I gotta go to work. Can't they just stay? That's the worst.
Oh, really?
Trying to drop your kid off at daycare, and it's like, no, you gotta take them. I'm like, what? No, I can't. Oh, shit. I mean, now it's probably easier with remote work, but yeah, there was one time when I forgot to give Dylan his medicine, his whatever he had to take, and I brought him to camp, and I had to give it to him in front of the nurse though, because I couldn't just, they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And he gagged on it, and he threw up, and they made me take him. I'm like, he gagged from the pill. He's not sick.
Yeah.
But no, I was fuming. I was not happy.
Oh, old Dylan. Come on, man. Got to be able to. I've been there before.
I know. Oh, now they got a puppet on top of the handcuff.
Yeah, and they can't figure out how to get it off. Saying I love how he's like, that's really nice.
And she's like turning on him. And
she calls him Mushmouth.
That's the name of a character from Fat Albert.
Really?
There was actually a character named Mushmouth because you couldn't understand him. He would talk like, "We go to the store by Fat Albert." Chris Rock did a bit on Fat Albert. Yeah.
I think I saw that movie with Keenan. It was horrible.
No, the cartoon was on when I was a kid, and it was one of those like always had a lesson kind of shows because it was Bill Cosby before we knew how much of a pervert he was.
Yeah.
A piece of shit. But no, I actually enjoyed the show. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere though, because
probably not.
It's kind of a shame too, because it actually was a pretty good show. Yeah, Bill Cosby himself is a great concert film that he did and watched all the time on HBO. But again, because he's such a disgusting human, turned out can't find it anywhere. So Angelica in the end ends up getting.
She handcuffs herself, and it was great. And so she gets her comeuppance, like we were talking about. She's a little shit. So, but I just I guess because when you're a little kid, you don't really remember what time is. But I was shocked they did this whole thing in 12 minutes. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So this one, go ahead.
It says January 62nd because they don't know what strike. They don't know what time is. So
yeah. Yeah, so we're watching, now this is the Blizzard. The Rugrats go off on a backyard fantasy adventure to find the North Pole and get Santa to fix Chucky's fire truck. Sounds like an adventure.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. I love how, Chucky was able to walk and everything, but, Tommy just crawls the whole time. Yeah,
Tommy looks like, they look like they're different ages, too.
Yeah, he's moving now, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you have kids, once they become mobile, you're fucked.
That's what I've heard.
It's like once they get to going, yeah, you're done. I mean, once my kids got on the move, it was like, phew. I mean, Jessica was like a fast crawler, and she ended up falling down the stairs once.
Oh no!
As a baby, they were carpeted.
Yeah,
and she actually was fine. It was when I showed up, her mom took her to the emergency room to get checked out, and she was fine. Her mom was another story, was like a wreck,
yeah.
but yeah, she just got so fast, and then they, another thing is once they start pulling themselves up, we had air tables you buy. They're like these little things that blow up air, and they love doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another thing to look forward to one day. Oh, and just spilling everything everywhere. I could just, oh God knows. Oh, sometimes in the snow days, oh.
I love the snow days as a kid. It used to be before we would have to check the bottom of the screen, and now I guess after COVID, it's like if it's a snow day, it's like just do your work in school at home.
Yeah, I kind of messed that up. Mhm. I love this though. The adults are having a snowball fight and stuff.
Yeah, now when it snows, Andy, I'm staying my ass inside.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
We only go outside to walk the dog. That's it.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I mean, I let Riggins out, and he'll be like, okay, and then it's.
Even he's like, no, let's fuck this. It's cold.
Yeah, I mean, he'll look at it and like he'll like play in it, and then he's like, let's go inside. And I'm like, yes, let's please go inside. Thankfully, it doesn't get that much snow here. But when it does, people don't know how to do with it, so like it shuts down even if we get like 4 or 5 inches. Everything shuts down.
All right, so they're Chucky's trying to get them all to go to the North Pole to fix this thing.
Yeah,
there.
to fix his new fire truck that he broke, and because they think it's the North Pole because the grandpa said it's coming down like the North Pole out here. Oh, we see Angelica has showed up, and they think they're all going to go see Santa. So she's like, thinks they're coming with them, and they're dragging all this stuff. I love like the little kids. Like I guess now if we saw a movie and the little kids were doing that, we see them like just playing outside like in Ant-Man. They think all this big stuff's happening, but like you barely see anything moving when they had their big battle at the end of the first one.
Oh yeah, that's right, with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Poor Spike. He looks like the dog from How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, but he's so adorable though.
I
Like
know.
we got the crazy grandfather, who, as you can see, they're still in the backyard but it makes it look like they're so far away, even though like he literally just took a bite out of
The carrot.
the carrot and here we go, like the expedition.
They look like they're doing the Iditarod here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
It kind of reminds me of the Backyardigans a little bit. They all have going all these adventures. That was something my kids watched.
What was it? I'm sorry.
The Backyardigans.
I've never heard of that. I was want to make sure I heard you correctly. I was like, what?
Oh
is
yeah,
that?
it was a big thing. It was a big thing for a while when mine were little. So this is the, the mid to late aughts, I would guess.
Okay.
It was Dylan. Yeah, it was more Dylan. I think was already born. So probably like sometime like like close to 2008, 2009, 2010, around there.
Those were my college years, Andy. So I was not watching that.
Yeah. That's something you could definitely come back to your dorm room, smoke a bowl and watch that. That was an interesting show.
Yeah, I never even heard of that. Was that on Disney or Nickelodeon?
No, it was actually Nick. Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought you were like YouTube because that's what kids watch now.
It was CG. There were all these little kids. There were animals though. There was a moose named Tyrone. There was a penguin named Pablo. There was a little hippo. I forgot her name, but there was this other thing, but they never really said what it was. Her name was Uniqua, and they would sing and they would do all this stuff and they would go on all these adventures. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry you had to watch that.
It wasn't the worst thing I had to sit through, but it wasn't like the Wiggles or anything like that, which I did have to sit through with Jessica. But yeah, or the Doodle Bops, forget about it.
Oh God. So I love how they make their own igloo and it looks perfect. They're eating this Reptar bar, and they have a lint and a penny. It says that's all the food. So they're still in the backyard. They think it's like how kids have imaginations and everything. It's great. And the snow's still coming down. No, they're saying they're cold and hungry, and they need a new diaper as one. And then they're gonna send Tommy out. And then Chucky's always like the scaredy cat. This is awesome.
And Lil and what are their names? The twins, Lil and
Phil.
Phil and Phil. They always speak in tandem, like in sync, right?
Yeah, that's how I thought all twins were. That I met a lot of twins, and that is not the case.
No, but they do a lot of same things though. My ex is a twin, so yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes. How twins? There's like one evil twin. They were both evil. So.
Oh, okay. See, I've never all the twins I met. There was never an evil twin, so
it's just it's balance.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, damn. And whatever Angelica's wearing, it looks like a big ball.
Yeah. And there's like, what are those things sticking out of it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like Marie Antoinette or something. Like,
Okay.
maybe a thing. I don't know. But, I love how it's December 33rd now. And before, it's just like they have no concept of anything.
And the abominable snowman.
The abominable.
Mhm. And poor Chucky with the inner monologue working there because he's probably all worried. Or is he narrating this episode?
He's narrating, but he's also very worried. So we was off in search for our lost companion. I forgot that they had we just lost Phil, because Lil has the little hair piece in her hair.
That's how you tell them apart.
Yeah, little bow. It's like a bow tie type thing. I don't know. We thought he was eaten by a polar bear. It's just
so what is Reptar, by the way? So I've heard
it's like their it's basically like their Godzilla, but it's like a kids TV show that they watch, and it's their favorite character. There's like candy and everything. I think I remember when the movie came out in the late 90s, they actually had Repter Bars, and I remember because Nickelodeon is orange, that the VHS was orange. Like, how they're usually black, but the VHS was orange, and I remember thinking how cool that was. And I remember, I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I saw it when it came on Nickelodeon eventually. And for some reason, my French teacher, because we had to take in 6th grade, they make you go through all these different classes to see which ones you would take for 7th grade. And for French, she showed us the Rugrats movie, because some of it takes part in France, but she played it in French, which was very odd for all of us. So, because we didn't know a lick of French, and she's playing this movie, and it's all right, well, this is pretty cool. I'm not going to sign up for French, but yeah.
French is hard. I took it in college, actually.
I'm suck at all foreign languages. I took 6 years of Spanish and couldn't tell you a word, Andy.
Oh, God. I had to take Latin in 8th grade. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. Then in college, I took 1 semester of French and 2 semesters of Italian. Can't speak any of them. Can't speak any of them.
I was about to be did you? Yeah.
No, it was you had to have a certain amount of language credits. That's the only reason why I took the Italian and French. So
yeah, we had to have 3 semesters of Spanish of one foreign language. So I couldn't sort of nickel and dime it like you did, because I would 1000% do that, Andy. Without skipping a beat, because we had a bunch of one and now they offer American Sign Language, which I would have done that if I was in college now, but I'm not. So, and then we see that they got scared of the snowman, but it's really the grandpa that set up the snowman. So, and he brings them inside, and looks like they have chocolate milk. And Angelica's mad she didn't get a toy. And they said how they had fun. And Grandpa fixed the fire truck.
There you go.
And it's like a Santa episode. March 1st, our deal is over.
Wow, okay, that was a fun one. So
yeah, that was a fun one.
So now we're going to move on to, and it starts in 2-1. So this one is episode 13, and this first story is Destination Moon, where the babies think Grandpa's trailer is a rocket ship and go to the moon.
Yes.
So that sounds like a fun one.
Yes, it does, Andy. Yeah.
You know what also this kind of reminds me of too, and this is from when I was younger, probably middle school age, I guess. Muppet Babies, the original cartoon, came out. And
yeah, I remember that.
It seems very similar to that, because in every episode they would go on an adventure, and there was a really, my favorite one, and I don't remember a lot of the specific episodes, but there was one where they did Star Wars, and it was a lot of fun, where Kermit was like Luke, and Fozzie was Chewbacca, and Bunsen and Beaker were R2D2 and C3PO. Of course, Piggy was Princess Leia. And,
wow!
Yeah, and Gonzo was Han Solo, but he called himself Gonzolo. And they had Nana, who was you never saw her. You only saw her feet, her legs, voiced by Barbara Billingsley, who was the mother on Leave It to Beaver. See, it all comes back full circle.
Oh my God, that's pretty amazing that we made it full circle with that.
Yes.
So we see Chucky's throwing his little spaceship around, and then we see the grandpa's trailer. It looks just like a spaceship.
Boy, Grandpa's really the cause of a lot of their problems here.
Right? Like, he did fix the toy last time, so I will give it to him. But that was at the very end. But after he terrified those kids for life about the abominable snowman. So there is, because the internet ruins everything, Andy. Let me bring this up for you. You might have heard this, but this is called the dark Rugrats theory. And it's pretty bad. The Rugrats were merely a figment of Angelica's imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his father. That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time.
Okay.
So that's pretty bad. Tommy was born in 1988, but he was a stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live. The DeVilles had an abortion in 1990. Angelica couldn't figure out whether the child was a boy or a girl, thus creating the twins. And then it says for the all-grown-up version, Angelica became addicted to various narcotics, which further aggravated her schizophrenia. This brought her back to her childhood and the creations she had obsessed over. Because of the time that passed between the present and the last time she interacted with her delusions, she made them older. Angela was constantly taking hits of acid so she would never live without him. To her, they would be only the company in a judgmental world. Angelica's mom actually died of a heroin overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born. Drew in his depression married a gold-digging whore who we met, who lost his mind after the death of his wife when acknowledged she was ever a prostitute. Angelica idolized her, but she fooled herself thinking it was her real mom, but she always had a concept of a real mom, Cynthia, which is the toy. It says, later in life, she followed in her mom's footsteps with drugs, dying of an overdose at 13 when All Grown Ups was canceled.
Oh, God.
Like I said, it's pretty fucking dark, Andy. Like, holy shit.
As our friends from Boston would say, it's wicked dark.
Yeah,
that was, oof. Yeah, I've heard of, they do that with a lot of these things where the people get a little too their imagination runs away with some of this stuff.
And they said that the creators already rebuked it in 2016. They were like, no, that's not true at all.
There was dark theories about SpongeBob out there too. That all the houses were car mufflers due to pollution and Krabby Patties. Mr. Crab is selling Krabby Patties, which is basically like him euthanizing his his family because it's crab and he's a crab kind of thing. I've heard all that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah,
trust me, I'm a wrestling fan, so I already have too much time on my hands, but that maybe pushing it even more. But as we can see, they've gotten in what they think is the spaceship, and they're playing with it and everything. But we see on the outside they're actually being pushed by Stu and the grandpa, and everyone's freaking out because they're not buckled in or anything. They think they're going to the moon. It's just I don't know. It's just bring something back, a nostalgia. It says they're instead of going to hyperspace, they're going to diaper space. Just little things like that. And I love that ship kind of looks like the Futurama ship after looking at it, Andy.
A little bit, yeah. I've only seen a couple episodes. I mean, that's on my list though.
Yeah, I mean, I've only watched a couple episodes too, but I've seen I guess enough of people say to never watch Jurassic Park to know what the ship looks like, which supposedly is one of the darkest episodes ever. And I love how with the ship move with the trailer moving along, these kids all get concussions, and then they're about to be locked in the trailer. But God, I just can't get over how good the animation still holds up 20 years later.
I know. 20 years. We're at 30 years here, Chef.
30 years. My apologies.
Math is hard. Dark Side of the Moon there Tommy's mentioning. they have bowls on their heads now.
Well, that was definitely a joke for for the parents there.
Mm-hmm.
The dark side of the moon, and
Mm-hmm.
they say don't open the door. Like you're right, Chucky's the one that's always like, don't do it, And then we see when they're in spacesuit with their quote unquote spacesuits.
Now that looks like from that other show, that thing, Real Monsters.
Yeah, that's what that does look like. That's definitely like a Easter egg of some sort.
Yeah. They always like to plant that stuff when it's a similar studio.
Yeah, did you watch Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah, I did actually. Sousa and I did that.
Well, that has a lot more like jokes for like.
Mm-hmm.
They think he worked at a sex shop, like a sex a phone sex hotline because of the posters in the background. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But those monsters look like the real monsters thing. Like, yeah.
So there's less gravity. Yeah.
Got to walk like it's on the moon. Ugh, it's so funny.
Poor Chucky.
Yeah. You can see the rings of Saturn out there.
Yeah, don't fall in that green stuff right there, because that could be. Oh, jeez, that's bad.
I mean, of course, the twins fall in it, and then Chucky,
and then you see the four-eyed thing here.
Yeah, that's just Chucky.
For the moon juice. Oh God.
I want to know what that really is, then, since they're in the garage, right?
Well, they're in the garage. Oh God, that could be bad what they're getting into.
Yeah. So, like, what is?
That's a no-no. Well, at least they have good imaginations, I guess.
Yeah, like I would never had that like type of.
I don't know.
Oh, he just knocked over the newspapers.
And then you walk in, it's like we didn't mean to make this mess. No.
Yeah. My best friend was telling me like he went. They went Halloween. They went trick or treating with his daughter, and they went with another couple. And I guess like it was like one of the kids like fell into a those inflatable blow up things and broke it. And then his daughter went and jumped on it, and he was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I saw him do it." He's like, "No, you saw him like trip into it. Why'd you do it?" She's like, "I don't know." And it's just like, yeah, that's what it sounds like. I mean, as he's telling me this,
I don't know.
as he's telling me the story, like he's mad, I'm laughing. So, as you can see, the parents have realized they finally have lost the kids. The back room, outside closet. Wow, Andy, my brain is fried. Like these kids, the door is open in the backyard. We got Spike pawing at the. They're looking for the kids in the bushes. How many times have they lost these kids? I'm
surprised CPS has not been called on these people yet.
Right? Like, you got Spike. Like, they're literally just looking. It's like, what are we doing? They found an old. Oh my God.
Now they're in a crater.
Yeah.
In space, no one can hear you scream. We got a 2001 reference there.
It's also an Aliens. That's Aliens.
That's Aliens. I've never seen any of the Aliens movies, by the way.
Oh, you should, Andy. They're so good.
It's in my that's the Andy 25 that I haven't seen.
The new one was very good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. Or it's the top of my shame list. That was actually an idea for a podcast I was thought about doing called For Shame.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I got Godfather on mine. So.
Oh God, yeah. Look.
Major Tom to Ground Control. That's yeah.
I only saw The Godfather like maybe 10 years ago, so yeah, you still got time. You'll beat me.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
I mean, Godfather I think came out the year I was born.
Okay, I mean, but so that means that's why you get like and we see they're aliens too.
Oh no. They found him finally. It's about time you got your parenting on here. Who's watching these kids?
It's like, what are you doing? Like, oh, and you bit the kid. He bit Stu's finger. They're all disgusting and everything. And I remember that, like, yeah. These kids probably stink so bad.
Yeah, Tommy definitely has a saggy diaper, which you know that there's a load in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, he lost his toy rocket now too. Holy.
Oh God. Must have dropped it. It's in space.
So, the Moon Kid. That Moon Kid's still there, huh?
Yeah, that's weird. Like, might have. I mean, could that be a? I guess it takes off. So could it be a roach? Like they just have roaches in their garage?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Angelica's birthday now. On her birthday, Angelica decides to become a baby again after she worries about growing up. Oh boy.
That's a common trope in all this. You saw it in like other TV shows as well, like people not wanting to get old. I'm like, whatever, you're only as old as you feel. So, right, Andy?
Yes, and I feel 70. So
you feel 70?
I'm fucking tired. Yeah. That's why I watch cartoons though. It also, brings you back to those happy days.
And wrestling.
Yeah. Sitting there just with a bowl of cereal, watching some cartoons. Good times.
So what cereal are you eating during that?
Well, actually, I don't eat cereal on the weekends. That's more I eat cereal on the weekdays because you don't have as much time to make a nice breakfast. So, like for me, cereal is like a weekday thing because it's just throw it in a bowl and I sit down, I start working. But on the weekends, I like to make a thing of like scrambled eggs and bacon and toast, the whole spaghetti, or some salmon and cream cheese on an English muffin or something.
Damn, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I know how to eat.
So what's your cereal during the week then?
During the week, well, being an old fart who's trying to watch their weight, I eat this actually cereal called 3 Wishes.
Okay.
Which is low in grains. So it's like not as many calories and as fattening as the Kelsey mix which I did buy a box of. Between that and then they have there's all these healthy cereals in the market. 3 Wishes is one of them, and then there's Magic Spoon, which if you want to know what straw in a bowl with milk tastes like, get Magic Spoon. It's terrible in my opinion.
Spoon.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's. But also Trader Joe's has some good healthier, not healthy per se, but healthier versions of a lot of the cereals you'll see on the market. So just lower in sugar and things like that. But I mean, as a kid, for me it was Lucky Charms was a big thing. Frosted Flakes. What else? Captain Crunch. Oh, peanut butter Captain Crunch, my jam. Oh my God, so good.
Well, that sounds really good too.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was 24, Andy, and I was buying Reese Puffs and juice boxes because I just needed a break from water. And the lady was checking me out. She goes, "My 8-year-old loves this," and I responded, "This 24-year-old loves this," as like she was ringing me up.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, a bowl of cereal is like one of the ultimate comfort foods. Is a bowl of cereal, especially not like some healthy ass cereal. Give me something with all kinds of sugar and what have you on it, and that just brings you back to a simpler time in your life.
It really does. Like I told you, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and
Cinnamon Toast Crunch on ice cream is really good too. On ice cream.
Never had that.
Fruity
Pebbles was my jam, but you got to eat that quick or the water gets nasty.
Yeah.
Reese Puffs was my jam until it started hurting my mouth. Yeah.
All right. Have you ever had Captain Crunch chicken before?
No, I've no. What the hell is Captain Crunch chicken?
So Planet Hollywood, I don't even know if they're still around, but they had an appetizer in a menu. It was called Captain Crunch. It was Captain Crunch chicken. Basically, it's chicken tenders, but there's Captain Crunch in the breading. So it's like crushed up Captain Crunch mixed with breadcrumbs, and it was so damn good.
I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, you can probably make it at home.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking.
Which I should try to do.
Yeah, it says the prep time is 10 minutes. The cook time is 10 minutes. Okay.
I think I know what you and Em are gonna have one day.
Yeah, for real. Like I was trying this. I'll put it on the air fryer and see what happens.
There you go.
God. Yeah, the Planet Hollywood. That was in the book I read about the 1980s action movies. That was a very interesting read. Made me hate Steven Seagal more than I already did. Dude's so full of shit with all of his stuff that he spouts and everything. The name of the book was The Last Action Heroes: The Triumphs, Flops, and Feuds of Hollywood's Kings of Carnage. Very good, quick read. But
right.
But yeah, so Angelica's birthday, her mom's going all out. We got clowns. Looks like we have some sheep. So did you ever go all out for your kids' birthdays?
Yeah, we did some. We had parties here and there. We had Elmo show up at I think it was Jessica's first birthday. We had.
Oh wow.
We went to there's a small zoo around here. We had a party there. I think it was Jessica for Dylan. We did Chuck E. Cheese once. That was a I'd have to really sit back and think about all the other things we did. I remember as a kid, there were certain things back then. Everybody had a party at the Ground Round. I mean, I remember I had a party at the Elmsford Raceway, which was a slot racing place.
Oh.
So that was pretty damn cool. Yeah, it was all kinds of fun. But of course, Angelica's mom, you get what you pay for. That's like Chucky and Tommy's dads as the clowns, right?
Yes, that's what it looks like. At least Chucky's dad. I can't tell if that's Stu, but
okay.
It looks like it.
Yeah, and her mom seems like the typical yuppie woman at the time.
Yes, doing cocaine, like American Psycho. Yeah, and while this time Angelica has resorted back to being a baby, she has the pacifier. She's basically dressed like a girl, Tommy Pickles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she's still bullying them and everything. It's great.
Yeah, she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, basically.
Yeah, she can't eat solid food. She's saying it would be easy.
I don't know. I mean, some baby food seemed okay, but I remember in college years ago, I remember this one girl was I go to my friend's dorm room and he's hanging out with this girl and I stopped in. I don't know why, but she's eating out of a jar. So she's eating baby. I'm like, are you eating? What are you eating? She says baby food. I said, oh, why? She goes, because it's good. I'm like, okay. It was some kind of fruit one though. It wasn't those nasty sweet potatoes or anything like that.
Yeah.
Where your kid just looks orange after they eat all that stuff.
Yeah, that's ugh.
Yeah, Angelica's mom definitely has a stick up her ass.
Yeah, she does. I don't.
I got some Chinese acrobats here.
Yeah. Jesus, they went all out for this.
Yeah, it's spare no expense here. Chocolate swan sculpture, jeez.
Oh, God, that would be so disgusting.
Big ass standees there for them, and then the spoiled little brat here.
Yeah, she's so, acting like a baby.
And then she's jumping on her dress.
It's her party. She can cry if she wants to. That became a song. Then we got all the kids coming in. I like their. God, I can't think of her name right now. I have to Google it. They just showed her. They didn't have her in a bunch of episodes.
Yeah. There's Reptar hanging from the ceiling. I don't know if it's a Reptar pinata.
Yeah, and they had Susie, who always stood up to Angelica, and they didn't really have her in a lot of episodes. I think they had her a lot in the other episodes, in the older episodes. But yeah, she's there. They have the Reptar Pinata, which is pretty dope. And now she's mad. Susie is not really swinging the bat that well. Come on.
I don't know. I would have walked in and seen Angelica like that. Would have been. That's one of those things that you just kind of like look at the pair and go and smile and just go, I'm just going to keep my thoughts to myself.
Oh, yeah. some hardcore judging going on. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. Some internal judging, yeah.
So does that happen?
Oh, yeah. What is... Oh, okay. Yes. Why? Because, why is he... Because he's doing that. You just need to, like... and people who don't have kids sometimes don't quite catch on quickly for some of that. It's like, this is my life, man. Okay, you just give him, if he wants to run around with a blanket on his head because he's scared, I just let him.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm just not gonna fight this battle.
Yeah, you got to pick your battles. I'd be like, you want to be a baby, fine, be a baby, and then you treat him like one. They're like, no, I'm not a baby.
Angelica just called them dumb babies, so maybe that's where Tim got it from. So he stole it from Angelica.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
I will, yeah.
You dumb baby shit.
Yeah, she said, I'm not gonna be ruined by a few dumb babies, and it was like, okay, she's no longer acting like a baby. She's stealing the candy. I guess that is Stu and Tommy. Yeah, jeez.
Oof, looks like they're trying to get at each other here.
Yeah, they definitely are.
All well and good until you get a Boston cream pie on your head. No. Oh, I would be pissed to have to clean that shit up. That's the worst.
Yeah.
When kids come to your house and they just make a mess and you're just like, oh, and it's somebody else's kid and you just...
I was always terrified, so it wouldn't be me.
You always at that, like, like, oh, God, am I doing this now? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the 2 episodes. Those were a lot of fun, Schiff. Good job on picking them.
Thank
there.
you.
All right. So before we call it a day here on this very podcast, though, why don't you tell everybody, where you got going on, what are your regular podcasts you can direct them to, any kind of guest appearances you've made, what your social medias are.
I basically, my social media is still there, but I've taken a break for the past probably since June or July. Feel better for the mental health, Andy, actually.
I tell you, it is.
Yeah, it really is. I'm still there, but you won't see me posting anything. But I'm at Scott_Shifflett on Instagram and Twitter if you want to follow me. Haven't even been updating my letterbox, Andy, so that tells you how serious I am about
Oh,
this.
wow.
Yeah, no worries. But you can find me on the Backbone Wrestling feed. I am the host of Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW, which you will see me losing my mind more and more as we just covered the first Nitro after Mayhem. And Vince Russo should not have been allowed to make TV. That's the show I host with Logan Crossland. You can catch me monthly on YouTube Roulette, where that's just me at my zaniest with Matt Souza, Logan Crossland, and Jacob Williams. You can also find me on Linking Up Lucha, where we're going over Lucha Underground. We're currently at the end of season 2. I'm on that matched up the season with Jennifer Smith, but also the other half of that is Jacob Williams and Sean Kidd, and Logan hosts that. I'm on Hidden Gems once or twice a month on Backbone with Sean and Logan. And yeah, and check out everything here on the Pop feed, which you should be, on the PTBN Wrestling feed and the NoSo feed as well. We're all churning out good stuff. When I first started doing these podcasts, I was like, oh, these are fun. And then you just develop into this and just try it out if you haven't. And it's awesome. So thank you, Andy, once again for having me on. I really enjoyed this. Now you kind of want to make me to just randomly watch, Rugrats from time to time. I don't know, when I'm feeling down or something, but yeah,
it's comfort. Cartoons are comfort food, man.
They really are.
And I watched new stuff too. I mean, I watched the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. They have Chaos Theory now, which is a continuation of the story. I watched that. There was a Kong Skull Island cartoon that was on Netflix a few months ago. I really enjoyed that as well. So yeah, there's all kinds of out there. And then there are times, I'm like, you know what? I'm just in the mood to watch, Tailspin or Animaniacs or something. I'll throw a couple of shows on here and there. That's what I love about it. It's just a way to kind of like turn your brain off and just laugh for a little while. And sometimes throwing on some shorts too will do that.
Yeah,
plenty
exactly.
of cartoon shorts out there. All right. So speaking of cartoons though and animation, I have a plethora of shows here on the Pop Experience that do cover that. I have Pop Goes the Classics. That is the Disney retrospective look at all the full-length animated features. Our latest episode, which dropped last week, was The Princess and the Frog. That's myself, Miranda Berthold, and Steve Riddle. Our next episode will be coming in the month of December, and we will be going over the movie Tangled, which is one that I enjoy, but I haven't watched in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to rewatching that for the podcast. What else we got? I do my live watch series also, where I'm going through the whole Pixar canon. I haven't done that in quite some time. I left off at Incredibles 2. I'm hoping to get back to that at some point. And we got a Blockbuster Rewatch, where I'm in the middle of Star Wars. Still need to line up a guest for Star Wars Episode 8. And once I do, we'll get that one out to you. And also Laughing Theater will be back, especially with the holidays time now. As Scott knows, he's been on a few of these in the past, where I get some fun group watches together. Sean Kidd is always on those episodes because Sean is such a Christmas mark. The guy just he hates a lot of things, but he loves Christmas. So he'll definitely be on those. I usually work it out that he's a definite on those. And then we try to get a lot of the rest of the gang to appear on those and just have some laughs and joke around and get in the holiday spirit. But like Scott said, though, check out all the other great feeds. That tremendous feed. You guys are like, what would happen if the SmackDown 6 went and started their own federation? That's what you guys. That's what you guys are. That's the Backbone Wrestling Network, and you guys are cranking out a lot of great stuff over there. You're getting to do a lot of things that you haven't done before, and I'm very happy, very proud of you guys, and continue to enjoy watching you guys continue to grow over there. Also got the Place to Be Nation Wrestling Network, where I actually co-host a show on there at the moment. That's Who's Next, our latest episode. Maybe up by the time you hear this, I don't know. That's myself and Logan Crosland, where we break down the current day NXT product. So, sometimes with a big stretch between episodes, we'll kind of do a quick hit on the regular NXT episodes, and then we'll do a deep dive breakdown into the PLEs. But on this latest episode, I can tell you that we looked at the first episode on the CW, also pretty deep, because that was a pretty huge one that they treated it with the change of networks like an event. So, and that's a lot of fun doing that show with Logan, and we really enjoy having fun doing that. And also check out the North South Connection. They have a great podcast network, as well as a YouTube channel that Schiff you do appear on from time to time with Mr. Ryan Gray. And I will go on there when Ryan does ask. So it's a lot of fun. It's great stuff, and a lot of great people doing good things. So that's going to bring an end to this episode. So I want to say a big thank you to my friend Scott Shifflett. Scott, it's been a long time coming. Glad you were here. Anytime you want to do another cartoon, you're always welcome back on the show, my friend.
Yeah, we'll have to do a South Park when I can be like, this is where I was at 10 to 34.
Yeah, I'll pencil you in for that one. Yeah, I was in South Park for a number of years. I've fallen out since then, but I really love it. If we don't do the Chicken Lover episode, then I don't know what I'm doing.
I got a bunch. I got Scott Tenorman one, the World of Warcraft one. There's so many great ones.
Yeah, so many great episodes. So, with that being said, thank you all for listening. But do yourself a favor. Go, grab yourself a bowl of cereal, plop yourself in front of the TV, and watch the cartoons. All right? We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.